Welcome to Biz Ed Made Simple. In this video, we're looking at inventories. We're looking at why businesses hold inventories, the factors affecting how much inventory businesses hold, and the disadvantages of holding high levels of inventory. Before we get into that, we've got to look at, well, what are inventories? The definition is on my screen as always. Materials and goods held by a business and required to allow for the production of products and the supply to their customers. Now, we've got to learn it again, learn it for these exams, but what does that mean? We're going to be explaining that. So, when I think of inventories, the place I really am aware of it is when I go to a shoe shop. When I go to a shoe shop and I see a shoe I like, and I say to them, okay, nice shoe, but have you got this in a size 45? And this is where it tells me about a good shop. The good shop says, let me go and check the inventory or the stock room. They go off into the back where I imagine they've got loads of boxes like here. And if they're good, they come back and they go, here you go, do you want to try this? And I bought a 46 and a 44 as well. The worst shops for me are the ones that say, no, we've only got the ones that are on display. They are the shops that don't hold inventories, and that upsets me already. I don't recommend them and I don't go back to them. That's giving us a hint with that first bullet point, why businesses hold inventory. Okay, but shoe shops are of course not the only places that hold inventories. In fact, everything does. If we have a furniture factory, they're going to hold inventories, but theirs could be the raw materials. They'd need like piles of wood that they're then waiting to change into the furniture. If we looked at a car factory, well, they'd need inventories made up of component parts. It could be the wheels that they get from somewhere else, ready to fit onto their conveyor belt system of fixing up and putting together the cars. So why do businesses hold inventories? Well, across all of those, we should have 4 reasons. And there's more than that. As ever, we want to understand these things. So the first, to meet customer demand properly. If you go, just like in that shoe shop, to the shoe shop and they don't have enough inventories, well then you don't meet my demand. I'm sorry, we just sold the last pair of 45, and then they miss out on the sale and they miss out on customer loyalty and all the rest of the things that you can see here. The next reason, to prevent production stoppages. If we look at this car factory and they don't have any car tires, they run out and they say, quick, we need the tire to finish off this car to put the wheels on. They say, oh, we haven't got any, we run out. Well, that is going to stop the production process, and that's going to waste time and waste money, and you're not going to be producing any output. It's going to be very inefficient. Next, it's good to buy large inventories because you're going to benefit from economies of scale. We'll come back to that later in another video, but if we think about something called purchasing economies of scale, if you just buy, let's say the car company, they buy just 4 wheels, I said 1, but then if they buy just 4 wheels, then the price, the unit cost of the 4 wheels are going to be quite expensive. If they buy 4,000 wheels, then they're going to get a discount. The unit cost, let's say they bought the 4 wheels for a total cost of €100. If they bought 4,000, it would obviously cost more money, but as a unit cost, you might get each individual set of wheels, the 4 wheels, you could negotiate them down with purchasing power down to €80 per 4 wheels instead. So if you buy in bulk, you're going to have more negotiating power and you can benefit from that economies of scale. There are other economies of scale you can get, but we'll do that in another video. The next, it allows you to prepare for seasonal or unexpected demand increases. That shop that doesn't have, the shoe shop that doesn't have the inventory, okay, it's doing really well, but then let's imagine that their own brand shoe in that shop, Ronaldo the footballer, goes out and wears those shoes and it hits social media, suddenly there'd be a flood of interest saying, hey, we want to buy those shoes, we'll pay loads of money. And the shop would say, we don't have any, I'm really sorry, we don't have any left over. If you had a big supply of inventories, you'd be able to meet that demand and even charge higher prices. So you wouldn't miss the opportunity. Okay, on to the next one. The factors that influence the amount of inventories held, all very common questions. You'll see this a lot. So the first thing is, well, how much should you hold? We just said, well, it would be brilliant then in that shoe shop if they just held millions of shoes. Well, it's not quite that simple. What will affect how much you should hold? Firstly, the type of product. If we look at this fish market, well, is it sensible to hold massive amount of fish in your inventory? Have a separate room with all of your fish in and say, well, we don't need to buy fish for the next year. Well, that's ridiculous because the fish is perishable. You can hold that fish hopefully for a day, I don't know how long, but a day, but after that it would go rotten. I don't know how long fish last, but after that it would go rotten, and you don't want to be keeping that. So if you're buying fish, you'd have to keep turning over that inventory a lot. If you were buying something that wasn't perishable, like a block of wood, then you could get larger quantities because you wouldn't expect it to get broken down or be unusable. The second, the supplier reliability and lead time. A term we'll come back to there, lead time. But okay, if this guy was your delivery guy, that you normally got it through this guy with his broken van, well, you'd look pretty unreliable, and therefore you'd say, well, I'm going to order in larger quantities because I don't want to have to rely on him coming on time. It takes us this term, lead time. Lead time is the time, well, there is a definition, we can look it up, but it's the time from when you order it from when it arrives. Well, if it was this guy that was delivering, your lead time might be fairly long, might be 4 weeks. You order him, hey, I need that stuff, and then his van's broken and he's slow and he forgets about it, and it takes 4 weeks to arrive on your doorstep. If you had some superhuman, really good person with a super fast car, really efficient, then the lead time might be shorter. You might be able to get it you by the end of the day, and then you wouldn't need to order as many. Next, your storage capacity and cost. Well, if we look at this, if it was a very busy high street where you had a very small shop, tiny little place, well, you might want to order loads of extra shoes, but you couldn't fit them in. That's often why those shoe shops that I don't like, they don't have big storerooms or inventories because they simply don't have the space for them. Every bit of space, they need to make sure that the customers can get in and see what they're selling. So that would affect it. Final one, well, sales trends and the demand forecasting. In businesses, we'd have people who'd be looking at it and saying, well, how many shoes or whatever do we expect to sell over the next month? That would affect how much inventory you hold. If they said, well, next month is quiet, we don't expect to sell many, well, you'd get less in your inventory. If they said it's Christmas coming up, we're going to sell loads, you'd hold more in your inventory. Okay, the other place that I always think about inventories as a teacher, and I'm sure it happens at yours, happens every school I've ever taught in, is the exercise books. Teachers have to have inventories. All teachers have a little cupboard where we hide our exercise books and we look after them like they're gold, because by the end of the year, they often aren't enough. Okay, we're going to take this into a silly story and we say, what can we do with this? Well, there's a headmaster who's listened to the first part of this video and he said, well, inventories are crucial. I don't want to have all of those problems that we saw. They're really important. I know what I'm going to do. This is my headmaster. I am going to never run out of exercise books again. I am going to spend €1 million simply on exercise books. I'm going to order them because I'm tired of teachers running out. It creates a bad image. I'm going to spend €1 million. We're going to order them in bulk. I'll get economies of scale. So he does that. He spends €1 million. Pause and think about that. Why is that such a terrible, terrible idea for a head teacher to spend €1 million on exercise books all in one go? Have a little think. Here we go. Well, €1 million would buy a heck of a lot of exercise books. So in my picture, we'd see that he orders €1 million, then you're going to have all of these trucks and more probably full to the top with exercise books. He might be smiling in my picture, but he's a bit crazy. That is going to be huge problems. What are the problems? They are the disadvantages of holding high levels of inventory. Firstly, high storage and handling costs. Where's he going to put all of these books now? He's going to have to rent out a building next door to the school. Just to keep €1 million worth of books would buy a massive amount of books. You can't just fit them in all the classrooms in the little cupboard. So he'd have to rent somewhere. He'd have to insure it, because if it's worth €1 million and it burns down, you'd want to get that money back, and therefore you'd have to pay more to your insurance company. You might even have to pay for someone to guard your extra building. That would have costs. Next problem of this situation, there's the risk of damage or theft or obsolescence. How long would it take to use 1 million exercise books? I don't know, €1 million worth of exercise books. It could be 20 years. Well, some of them, even though they should be fairly hardy, they're going to get broken down. Rats might get in and chew them up. The paper's going to just wear down and fall apart. Or if they had dates on them, those dates would go out of date. And that would be obsolescence, and that would be money wasted if you're looking too far into the future. That's often the way with fashion. If fashion shops order large quantities, well, they can go out of fashion 2 years in advance, and then you're just left with nothing, something that you can't sell, not nothing, or struggle to sell. Finally, you've got increased opportunity cost. Have a look at Unit 1 for this one, a term you need to know. But let's say I go to that headmaster and I say, hey, my computer's just broken. Can we have a new computer? And he says, sorry, there's no money. I've just spent it all on the books. I go, what, the books? He goes, yeah, I've spent all of our money, €1 million on books, and I'm sorry, now no one can have computers anymore. I go, are you crazy? We would lose the benefit of me being able to use a computer, because he wouldn't be able to buy me a new one. So if you spend all of the money on exercise books and inventory, there'll be other things that you can't buy. That would be a problem. Fourthly, as a fourth reason, well, there'd be greater risk of waste. If you've got €1 million worth of books, then people are going to be more casual about it. You'll see it with your teachers at the start of the year when the new exercise books come in and you say, can I have a book? They go, yeah, sure. They throw them out to you. By the end of the year, when they're running out and they've only got a few less, you go, can I have an exercise book? And the teacher says to you, so show me your book, just check that it's finished. You've got a couple of lines there, because we guard it more when we've got less of them. So if you had 1 million of these, everyone would just be really wasteful with them. Okay, that has covered inventories, the 4 main questions you get asked in the exams. I hope it helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next video.